We're rolling coffee talk. Miami edition here. I've got some Cuban coffee. This stuff is just, it's like crack cocaine. It is. So Cuban coffee is like, or culada is like Cuban.
What's the difference?
So it's like Cuban espresso, which I think is a different blend. And then it's also with sugar. So they add straight sugar in the espresso and it's a little sweet. It's perfect. All the Cuban coffees
Okay.
down here, like Cafe con Leche, which is basically like a latte, it's like espresso and milk. They're just so good, but they add in so much sugar that it's like crack.
I can see that. I mean,
Like
like I
when I
said,
go home,
I'm
I'm
a black
bummed.
coffee guy, but yeah.
When I go home, I'm bummed. Um, their coffee is good though. Actually, maybe tomorrow when I go there, I'll grab you a bag so you can see what the black coffee tastes like
Yeah,
because they
dude,
do sell their coffee there.
I'm in.
So we got a big show today because
hmm Sure
first
do.
of all, Penn State 4 for 4 in the finals last night. We've got a
Unreal. I'm jacked. I was so excited.
even my wife was so excited that her throat was like hurting because she was screaming so much. And at
hmm
one point, like I think after Nick Lee's final, I literally almost put my head through the hotel ceiling, just jumping and clapping so hard.
Oh
And she's
yeah.
like, "Do you think anybody else is gonna like get pissed and call the front desk?" I'm like, "I legit don't care.
I
Like
don't
if they
care.
kick us
Right.
out of the hotel, they kick us out. This is too
And
big to miss."
yeah, I thought, obviously the Penn State guys wrestled awesome in the finals. Um, that's just what we do. You go to
Yeah,
Penn State, you win
yeah.
big matches. That's really
That's
it.
what we do. So there's a lot to talk about with NCAAs. Before
hmm
we get into that, we've been making waves with this podcast, and we've got a lot of plans ahead that in the coming weeks we'll be rolling some stuff out, announcing some stuff. But for now, we're starting to get more and more sponsors that are reaching out that want in on Coffee Talk. They want in on Baschamania. And there's
And to be fair, I mean, I don't see why not. So
Yeah, right. So one of the people reaching out to us that are now going to sponsor the podcast, initially, we're going to do a trial with them. They're going to sponsor some episodes. We're going to see how it goes. Manscaped. Now, if you don't know who Manscaped is, they're the best in men's below the waist grooming. They offer precision engineered tools for your family jewels. They obsess over their technology developments to provide you the best tools for your grooming experience. They're trusted by over 2 million men worldwide. Now, Cenzo,
yes.
I want to talk to you about your experience
hmm
because you were just telling me beforehand organically how awesome it is.
Yeah, so I actually got it in a few days ago. Here it is right here, the Lawnmower 3. Um, it actually works like a gem. There's a little light on it, but you can use it pretty much anywhere, and it's so smooth, and it's actually perfect.
And that's why when they reached out, I'm like, I love this for a sponsor because I've had
hmm
other people reach out that I don't think are a good fit. Manscaped, I feel like is a great fit because they have a great product. And you were a really good wrestler. I was a terrible wrestler. And we can both agree that wrestlers like to groom their bodies.
Absolutely,
You look at
and they should.
Correct. And so you definitely have some wild cards out there, but there's a lot of wrestlers that are in very good shape. And they like to trim their bodies. So I figured who better? Now, they do have the Lawnmower 3.0, which one of their specialties is below the belt grooming. So this might be a kid's show. This is a kid's show, earmuffs, but for adults and everybody else, you should take care of yourself. And this is a great tool to make sure you do that, to make sure you're not sloppy with yourself. This is something that everybody should own. And you were even saying that you're like, I literally look at my chest. It looks good.
Oh
Like,
yeah, so I actually it comes with attachments too, and I freaking buzz my chest down a little bit. It's great. I mean,
and
like I
it
said,
works.
it works
That's
very
the
well.
thing. It
Yeah.
works. So they recommend the Perfect Package 3.0, which includes the Crop Preserver, an anti-chafing ball deodorant and moisturizer, which genius move. That's a great move.
I recommend that also.
Yeah. So, guys, Manscaped is sponsoring the podcast. I think it's very cool that a new sponsor is coming into the sport. We need more of this. So, if you're into men's grooming or women, I believe 11% of our audience is women. Buy it for your
Huge.
boyfriend. Buy it for your husband. It's a great stocking stuffer. It's a great birthday gift, year round, great gift. And right now, they're going to give our listeners 20% off with what code, Chenzo?
I believe the code is Cenzo.
How
So
amazing is that?
it's pretty cool. So just spell it right. There's no H in Cenzo, by the way.
No, Cenzo. So you get 20% off plus free shipping using the code Cenzo. So go to, I believe the
Doesn't
website.
get much better than that.
Yeah. So go to manscaped.com, use code Cenzo, and let's show these guys why they should be involved with wrestling, why they should continue sponsoring the podcast. Use promo code Cenzo. Go buy a lawnmower 3.0, buy a weed whacker, tag them on social. Tag them.
Get some undies too. Those rock.
Yeah, that was like your first text, and he was like, "Dude, this underwear is sick."
Yeah, it was. The package they sent was actually perfect. I was very happy with everything. So, code Cenzo, 20% off.
Yeah, go use it. And guys, tag us online. Like, tag them and tag us. Like, we want to know. We want to thank you for supporting the show. We'll shout you out. We'll retweet some stuff. So tag us as you buy. Sure. Show us order confirmations. And that's Manscaped. Thank you, Manscaped, for sponsoring this podcast. This is a good one to sponsor. So I guess let's go back to the beginning, because I did not, starting off, I had a really good fantasy weekend.
You did.
I won my fantasy pool. I went 10 for 10 with my finals. And
we'll talk about that.
And my USA Wrestling picks that I did a week or two ago for the finals before the tournament started, I picked 8 out of 10 correct champs.
Unreal.
And that's only 3 1 seeds, by the way. Or only 3 1 seeds won. So it's not even like there's some members of the media, I won't name names, who picked like all 1 seeds.
I saw that also. We were talking about that a little bit. I think the Penn State projected total was what, 84?
Yeah.
Like that, 84. I mean, they didn't, I'm not going to say they crushed it in the team race or anything like that. I mean, I think Iowa obviously got the job done. They looked pretty good doing it too, but yeah, you got the champs down. I messed up on a few. And here's the thing, like if they wrestle those again, I'm picking the same guys again, because Sasso had 2. And I'm going with the Pittsburgh boys every time.
Yeah, for me, I don't know what it was about Sasso and why I went O'Connor.
Great match. Both are studs.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. It just, there was more gut. And then I went with Shane Griffith in the finals straight because I had him on my fantasy team.
Right.
So an 8 seed makes the finals. You root for him. Blind rooting. And then you went with the Pitt guy against Ferrari, which, like you said, I'm sure you would take it again. I don't think it was a bad play. AJ Ferrari, which we're going to talk about.
That boy's something. He's
that
really
kid.
Good,
so let's go back.
Very good.
Yeah, let's start at the beginning of the tournament. We'll kind of go through the weights. And it's interesting too, because in retrospect, I get disappointed, but you got really disappointed at like when some of the Penn State guys didn't win some matches that you thought they should have. And now when you see how close the team race ended up being when all said and done, it's frustrating for me now. Like, I'm back to where you were on day 1 and 2. So 120.
Every match matters, really does.
It does, and it's easy to, I don't want to say lose perspective, but it's easy to, if somebody's not a favorite, somebody like a Joe Lee who's a low seed, you kind of, I think I will watch him lose and say, oh, he wasn't supposed to win that match. But you kind of have a better inclination, is like, doesn't matter what the seeds are. Like, when I said that Robbie Howard beat Malik Heinzelman, I said huge upset. And I was more so talking on paper, because Malik was the 10 and Robbie was the 23. And you're like, that's not an upset. Like, it's a different perspective. But now I see how important some of those matches were.
Yeah, I mean, I was happy for Robbie. He was able to kind of get over that hump and actually beat Heinzelman. He lost to him twice earlier, but I thought he had a good tournament, 2-2. He was hurt for a while, true freshman. He wrestles hard. He'll be back ready to rock next year. I'm excited for him for, the rest of his career.
And it didn't, we'll talk about this a bit as we go through the whole event, but I had tweeted out when Bergie had to medical forfeit out that so much of wrestling is timing and health. And, for Robbie, he didn't have the full season, which didn't help.
Right.
And then getting kicked in the face, blatant kick in the face, doesn't help. But
yeah, I mean, wake you up a little bit.
That bobblehead effect was just
That was
something.
funny. Yeah.
Like just the number of times that thing, I'm still getting notification. My phone has not stopped since I posted that video. And then every time it slows down, somebody with like a big audience will like retweet it and start it all going again. I need to mute some of these tweets. But yeah, Spencer Lee
Nice.
obviously won the weight.
We're getting there.
So apparently he's
Yeah,
at
he's awesome. Like, yeah, apparently. And I put on Twitter, I said I'll take our Lee any day, right? And I'm gonna stick by.
they won't
Yeah,
stop
like,
arguing on that
you know,
one.
yeah, like I'm not like bashing Spencer at all. I just love our guy. That's really it.
Yeah, I think Twitter misinterprets stuff so
Yeah,
easily where it's like you're not saying Nick Lee is better than Spencer Lee. All you're saying is like Nick Lee's my guy. I'll take him any day of the week.
absolutely.
And people are arguing.
I know, like
Lee.
I see people like on my feed just like arguing, like mentioning me and everything. Like it is what it is. Like it's kind of funny to look at, but like how can I talk crap on Spencer? He just beat up everybody without any ACLs in the NCAA tournament.
And it's funny too because, and number one, it's like we've talked about depth of competition. I kind of was joking, tweeting last night, but it's like who thought his own ACLs were his competition? Like
Yeah,
nobody
really
knew what he was battling, and then here, and he looked like he was getting decisions, which wasn't common. So
right.
it makes sense.
You could tell that he was like he was hurting or there was something he was trying to push through, and
Yeah,
I mean he freaking dominated. So what else
he
can you ask
did.
for?
And people were texting me after Big Tens because Spencer, like right after the match, looked over at Brand and said, "My knee, I blew out my knee." And people were texting me like, "Did Spencer just say he blew out his knee?" And I'm like, "I don't know. Like, if you caught that, good. Like, I have no clue." But then you don't hear anything. Now it said last night, I think either him or Brand said that they were thinking about medical forfeiting at one point. And he said, if I'm
Yeah.
going to lose, I'd rather just lose. And then you go out, him and Yanni now, last couple of years, winning an NCAA championship. And I don't know the impacts of different injuries, but man, that's kind of, if you're a 57 kilo guy, you got to be kind of licking your chops knowing if Spencer's not healthy, there's going to be smelling blood in the water. I mean,
Yeah, for sure. That 57 kilo weight class is going to be nuts either way, with or without a healthy Spencer.
yeah, it's going to be absolutely bananas. Some people were texting me this morning about like what the seeds could potentially be, and because of the wins and losses over the past year or two, it's going to be wild. But yeah, so 125. I thought Spencer's obviously so dominant. Did anybody else stick out to you? Drew Hildebrandt was on my fantasy team. I was really happy for him to get third. Like we talked about last week, Sarah on the show, Drew naturally, I'm rooting for. I thought he looked good.
Yeah, I thought Drew Hildebrandt wrestled well also, but hold on one second. I got to look at the bracket here. Pat McKee came all the way back and got third, correct? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Hildebrandt got fourth.
Yeah.
He beat him. Yeah.
Pat McKee, what, lost first or second round, came back and got, he lost second round to Sam Latona, came back, got third. That's pretty awesome. So,
yeah, that is. And there was also a little tweet drama, tweet with Pat Glory.
Oh, yeah.
So rule number one with BASCH Solutions clients, I always tell people, athletes or businesses, never tweet emotionally. If it's emotional, don't post it unless it's like, an intimate kind of story or whatever. But so he tweeted out, this bracket's garbage, NCAA chumps. And funny. I'm like, oh man, like I get it. Like certain weights, definitely like no Pat Glory, no veto. Like I get it. That said, man, that was like burn and pillage. And I had said like, okay, this is obviously gonna get deleted, right? And I woke up the next morning, deleted.
I think it's still there.
Is it?
It might be. It was there the next day, but either way, I can understand where he's coming from.
Yeah, I don't blame him at all because even like not being on the mat, like the way my mind works, and a lot of it's bias, but when I see something unfold, like I get why people would be emotional. I don't blame him at all. If I was in his shoes and you couldn't wrestle because the Ivy League said you can't, like I get the anger, that's for sure.
Yeah. And, there's definitely a handful of guys that would have been contenders too. I don't. It's not the same as if like the Big Ten wasn't able to wrestle. It's not that caliber of a conference, but it's like right up there with a few of the other ones. And like I think Ivy League's getting better and better every year. You have guys like Vito and Yanni from Cornell, Max Dean, even also.
Cornell was like touted as a potential top 5
Yeah.
school this year.
And then you have the Princeton guys too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and they're gonna be very, very good next year too.
Right. It's going to be interesting. So 125 was great. Spencer Lee is just, incredible wrestler. I hope he stays healthy for the Olympic trials. You never want to see, going back to not having a full potential at a weight. I think injuries add that. And, that common theme that I've been seeing all weekend is timing and health are so important. And it doesn't matter how good you are, you need both of those. So that was an awesome weight. 133, we both picked Roman Bravo Young to beat Fix. He did it. He actually beat Dayton Fix and the refs.
Yeah,
and he beat him twice.
He beat him twice. I've never seen consecutive stall calls like that with that much time left. But hey, he got it done in overtime.
And it was so clean.
Clean. He if you take a bad shot on Roman, he's probably gonna score. He's just too fast, too good at getting that corner. And that's what he did. I think he wrestled an awesome match.
He did. And what I love is that at the beginning of the year, there was so much uncertainty. And I don't want to say he was overtrained, but you could tell there was just that kind of lack of consistency with competitions and everything looking different. And he settled in so nicely. Mm-hmm. And he could not have had a better tournament. I mean, he's beating guys, he started off with a tech fall, then a major decision, and then an OT win. You love to see that. So I could not have been happier for him. I would have liked to see 133 be the last weight for the tournament. I think that would have been amazing. I don't understand that decision to start. I get it, like Spencer, and I get Gable then Spencer. I think that was just an odd decision to start at 33.
Yeah, I think so too, but it is what
would that have been your match of the night? I know we're kind of early to talk about that, but yeah.
33. I don't know. There's a ton of them.
I know.
They could have just started at 25 and at heavyweight too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 41 was awesome too. So
Austin DeSanto looked good.
What happened?
I don't know. So I tweeted out, because I get the NCAA media alerts, NCAA sent a statement out from Iowa that DeSanto is not participating in the All-American presentation or the trophy presentation or anything. And nobody knows anything. Nobody on Twitter was saying anything. I asked one guy who was at the tournament, and he said what he thinks it might have been is when either the media went to grab him or somebody maybe went to grab him, he grabbed their wrist and like pushed him away or something. So I don't know if that's true, but nothing happened on the mat. Nothing happened where
nothing I saw. So
it was visible. But I thought DeSanto wrestled good. Going back to fantasy, like he was a 4 seed. He took third. It's exactly what you want. Like he lost one match, and it was only a 3-2 match to Fix.
I thought Fix should have got hit for stalling in that match. Also, I think DeSanto actually had an awesome tournament. I thought he wrestled very, very well. He could have done the thing really. Like he could have beat Fix there and been in the finals very, very much.
I think Roman would have beat DeSanto even more than he beat Fix, because I think he has DeSanto's number and he's adjusted so well to wrestling him. But yeah, DeSanto is so close. It's going to be interesting, so 133 is like what, like 100 or it's like 50 or 60 kilos. So Dayton still got to drop down now to 57 kilos. So it's going to be interesting to see how he performs. And Roman too, like, I know he said before that he's not going 57. He's like a perfect 61 kilo guy.
He could make 57. I think he could do it.
Yeah, I mean, if you're qualified, even if you're not planning on going 57 and then you qualify from winning this, that's going to make him think more, I'd imagine.
It's definitely it's a lot though, to especially a season like this, wrestle your season. They've been training since, August, wrestle the season, then jump right into, trials like 2 weeks later. It's hard to do.
Well, and that's why
a lot of guys like take a little break. So,
and I did the article on ROKFIN on Baschamania about, the impact of NCAAs on the Olympic trials, both before and after the tournament. And if you look back at 2016, I think only 3 guys didn't go to the Olympic trials: Imar, Miles Martin, and Gabe Dean. But 2 of the guys, Jaden Cox and Snyder, went on to win Olympic medals that year. So it's going to be interesting. Both Jaden and Frank were the 9 seed in 2016. So it will be interesting to see what he's going to do. But yeah, especially given that it's literally 2 weeks from now.
Right.
Like, that's a quick turnaround. So hopefully we get him on the podcast in a little bit. We'll ask him his thoughts. 41, maybe my most exciting match of the tournament.
That was a sick inside trip. That was awesome.
That was sick. And I love the people like tagging you right away.
Immediately. My coaches texted me and everything. They were like,
really?
Yeah, Nick pulled it out. I was like, yes, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
He wrestled such a like clean, just disciplined match. And I mean, I think it should have been way worse.
I love that someone tagged us. But I put that on Instagram.
Yeah, I just like, and as they were wrestling, I was like, here, Ironman's gonna fire off some double legs just to, make him to stay active. And it got him tired because he was trying to fight Nick Lee's hips whenever he was getting in on like somewhat shallow leg attacks. So
and I
tired out.
I don't know about you, but I didn't see Nick taking neutral. I didn't see that coming. So when he did, I'm like,
knew he was going neutral.
Really? I mean, it made sense. Like, that was what frustrated me at Big Tens. Like, Ironman just kind of rode him on top. But it was surprising because Ironman gets the tech, then he gets a decision, then he gets a pin, then he gets a fake pin over Tariq Wilson. The fake pin.
That was garbage.
That was absolute garbage. There's some people like
you can't blame Jaden Ironman for that either.
No. You can't. Yeah. The Iowa wrestlers are doing what they're supposed to. I'm not mad at Warner either for fighting off his back for a minute, even though I think he was pinned.
Likewise, yep.
But yeah, the officiating this weekend, and I'm not a ref complainer. I'm not the guy who sits here and bashes officials. But this weekend was just so hard to dismiss some of this stuff, and you got to feel for like NC State being on
that was terrible, and like. It's a problem whenever you see multiple, like pretty much every fan base besides for one team complain, like, kind of complaining. So
were you surprised that, fake pin or not, it was still 2 pins in a row. Mm-hmm. And that guy was energized, attacked 2 pins. And then like the beginning of the third period, I just randomly on my wife, I'm like, he's gassed. Like, Jaden's not winning this match.
He was tired pretty early. Have you ever wrestled Nick Lee?
No, can't say I have.
Yeah, so it's exhausting. So like his like movement and his pressure is just he's very hard to keep his pace for a whole 7 minutes. And you see it happen. We've seen Rivera pull out late matches against a lot of guys. Spencer, mainly. Nick Lee takes him out towards the end. Like that's just like. That's Nick Lee's gas tank. That's his pace. It's really, really hard to compete with and match with.
Do you think both Ironman and Rivera did not look like their gas tank was in the same arena as Nick? Do you think that's just training and prep, or do you think Nick Lee's just that much more conditioned than them?
It definitely goes into both. I mean, you can't say everyone gets tired.
Yeah.
Nick Lee just pushes through when he's tired, and it's very hard to do that for a lot of people. And I don't know, I'm sure his conditioning is better too. He trains very hard. He wrestles hard all the time. He drills like he's wrestling in a match. So it definitely all adds to it. And then just that he just wants to win. So like you watch Carter wrestle. Carter's his semifinals match, he rode the guy on the third period. He just want to win. He just want to win. That's really it. So you do whatever it pretty much takes.
And at 41, also, Real Woods over Dom Demas was a great match. And then Tariq Wilson looked so good beating him. Like Tariq
Wilson looked awesome. There was a lot of good wrestling at 141.
There was.
That was a very tough weight class. And that's why I said Nick Lee for Hodge. And like he lost a match. Who cares? Everyone loses matches. it would be a stretch, but I mean, it would be cool to see.
Yeah, and I tweeted out who would people give the Hodge to, Spencer or Gable, and
Everyone at Penn State said Nick Lee.
yeah, and look at field of competition. I wouldn't count him out at all. I think people are so used to Spencer and Gable, but he avenged his only loss to Ironman. He beat Rivera twice now. Like
Right.
and he did it in fashion too. So yeah, Real Woods. I hope he sticks around and wrestles. There's some rumors that he's going to not transfer somewhere else and just go into MMA. I think he's got so much talent. I'd love to see him just keep wrestling.
Yeah, same here. He's good, and like I said, he wins those tough matches too. So he's a gritty guy.
Yeah, so awesome weight, 49. Funny, even more so now, I hate the NCAA's decision not to send Bo Bartlett because Bo wins a couple of matches and it's an entirely different team race.
And the guys he lost to at that weight are Sasso and Yaya Thomas that came in second and third.
Yeah, so Bo Bartlett kind of got the shaft there.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say like completely, but he didn't really have as many opportunities as he would have liked to, wrestle matches to get himself in there. But with that being said, I think Sasso had a takedown at the end there.
Yeah, I'm not a rule guy. I saw he grabbed the foot. Is that why it's a takedown?
Yeah, he had both feet, both legs. He's on his butt, 2 points.
But don't you have to maintain control? Because would you then give Austin the reversal? Because then Austin circled behind him. Or did time expire?
Time was out.
Okay. Yeah, it's I don't know. I had Austin in my fantasy, so I was happy with it.
Yeah.
That's literally like I had no other bone in the fight there.
Yeah, I mean, and I I picked Sasso because he's from Pennsylvania. And I like, I stick with the home guys, and he's freaking tough too. I thought he had a takedown, but either way, I thought it was a great match. Both those guys are tough. And
actually,
back.
Yeah, and I didn't have Austin in my fantasy. I had Rich Lovett in my fantasy. I had O'Connor in my finals picks. Rich Lovett did not have the best tournament.
And that's okay because we'll be back next year.
Yeah. Max Murn beat him 5-3. I was pulling for him hard. I hated to see him go down.
So was I, but
and then who did he lose to?
In wrestlebacks?
Yeah. He lost
I'll
to
pull it up.
He lost early.
I didn't see it, to be honest. Oh man.
Fine Silver pinned him. That's right.
Oh, missed that one.
Fine Silver pinned him early in the wrestleback. So tough tournament for Rich, but like you said, he'll be back. Also, I know I keep saying it sounds like Rich because I get people that DM me that I pronounce words wrong. I'm either just talking fast. I know his name is Ridge. I used to live off of Ridge Road, so I understand the word Ridge. If it sounds like I'm saying Rich, I promise you I'm not. I'm just talking quick.
Yeah, I kind of heard Rich a little bit too, but I was just going to let it slide.
Yeah, no, I know his name is Ridge. I just, forgive me. 157. Such an interesting weight.
Very. David Carr is a beast.
David Carr is a savage, and he couldn't be a nicer human. He literally just texted me a month ago, like, dude, I love your podcast. I look forward to every episode coming out. Like, I'm a big fan of David Carr. Was happy for him.
I like David Carr also.
How stunned were you? I mean, I know Hayden Hiley is your boy.
Yeah.
And he looked good. He got a major, he got a tech, he got a pin, and then a 4-6 loss, which I don't know if that just goes to show you how good David Carr is. Everybody was kind of thinking Deacon and Hidley.
Mm-hmm. And that's what happens at the national tournament. Sometimes the big dogs go down. I don't understand why they reviewed that Ryan Deacon pin for so long either.
Yeah, I don't understand that one.
I think they might have been looking to see if it was like an illegal like mat return, like if he left his feet on the mat return or something. But either way, that weight class ended up being kind of crazy.
Yeah,
Hayden's still the man. I talked to him after. He's one of the best people in wrestling. So he's
Do you think he's gonna enter the last chance?
I don't see why not. Maybe we'll scrap.
It's gonna be interesting. I know, like thinking about like 57, and I start thinking about like, I know David Carr was already qualified for being a junior world champ for the trials. It's going to be interesting. Both Hidley brothers now have to go through the last chance if they want to go to the trials. Same with Ryan Deacon. I don't know what Deacon's plans are, but it's going to be interesting because if those guys start,
guys, so I'm sure we'll see him there.
yeah. So I have a list up on ROKFIN.com/Baschamania of everybody who's entered right now. There was a couple of guys over the weekend added, but no NCAA guys yet. I'm very curious because same with Ironman. If Ironman wants a shot at the Olympic trials now, he's going to have to go through the last chance as well. And there's a lot of good guys at 65 waiting for him to last chance.
Oh, yeah. I wonder if he'll come back to school next year also.
It's going to be interesting. I feel like this was kind of his year. He was looking good. He was touted. Everybody kept ranking him and seeding him first. And Nick Lee was just a better man. Also, 57. I feel terrible for Bergie. That's when I first tweeted out like health and timing are so important, and he hasn't had much luck in either. He had the concussion in the Junior World Championships, I believe. He hasn't been 100% healthy. Tony Hager actually tweeted something really stupid about he deserves to lose because of his headgear choice.
Nice, yeah. So
he then got tore apart for that.
Crazy. I mean, he got knocked unconscious like a while ago, and like he has had some pretty serious issues, some serious head trauma. So he wears that for protective purposes. So
right,
nice tweet, man.
Nice tweet. It seems like a very odd tweet. It's
because he was wrestling Caleb Young.
Yeah. So 57 though, crazy. David Carr. He wins. We're definitely going to see him at the Olympic trials in 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be interesting. I had Brayton Lee and your boy Hayden beat him for 5th place, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So, but Brayton was the 6th seed. He took 6th. Nothing goes chalk. 65, the Cenzo weight. So
Shane Griffith, man, what a beast.
So thank you to Shane. Actually, you know what? So I think I want a fantasy pool because of Shane. So I'm going to go take some of that money, and that's how I'm going to buy you coffee, and I'm sending it to you. So thank you, Shane.
Thank you, Shane, for the coffee. Appreciate it, dog.
Now, so Marinelli was on this podcast once, and that's my only conversation with him ever. He seems like a good dude, and I don't know him outside of that, and I don't mean this negatively, but he does not have good March tournaments. Yeah, it makes me even more pissed that you didn't get to wrestle last year in the NCAAs because it just even more solidifies for me that you would have won again. Because it's like, and I hope he's okay. I don't know.
I hope so. Also, I don't know what happened either.
Yeah, but I saw somebody else like commented on one of your tweets, like, "Oh, you don't wish him well." Like, what? You never said anything about it. Like,
what are you talking about, man? That was wild. That was
you
funny.
Actually also. I was kind of not rooting against Mackay, but I obviously have a bias. And you text me like instantly, like, I feel so bad for him. Like, he's a warrior. I hope he gets better really soon. Like, you literally texted me before anybody else did about wishing Mackay well. So that weight just wild. Mm-hmm. So Shane upsets Marinelli in OT. I actually had somebody call me for BASCH Solutions, random guy from Albany calling me about a website because they like one of our clients. And I'm talking to him, and I turned around because I like walk when I'm on the call. And I turn around and I see it's in overtime. I'm like, what just happened? Then I see he won. I'm like, dude, I got to go. Like, I'll send you your proposal. Sorry. So I didn't see the match. Did you watch the Marinelli Griffith match?
Yeah, it was a very good match. Marinelli does his normal Marinelli stuff, pushing the action a lot. Shane had some very good defense, then some good attacks of his own. It was an awesome match. Like, I wouldn't mind watching it again. It was if Shane was going to win that match, that was pretty much the way he was going to do it.
Yeah, and I definitely want to go back and watch that because there was such interesting quarters. Mackay didn't wrestle in the quarters. I believe it was around a 16. I've never seen someone in that much pain fighting through a match.
He looked like he was in an absurd amount of pain. That looked awful. And he was just getting it wrenched on the whole time. So the guy he wrestled that match at Navy Kid, I wrestled him last year. and he's just like a big, strong dude that like will pull on like overhooks and underhooks and stuff. So his shoulder, pec, or whatever that is like I was getting wrenched on. I felt bad.
Yeah, so like I felt for Marinelli and I felt for Mackay. I think everybody wanted to see that semi,
Yep,
and
I did, but
yeah, and they both end up hurt. I do hope they both heal up. I don't know what's wrong with either one of them. I've heard
yeah,
pec and I've heard shoulder for Mackay. I got to believe that knocks him out of the Olympic trials. I
yeah. I
don't.
mean, from his like face and everything, facial expressions, and like how he was just getting torqued on there.
That looks like surgery Monday.
Yeah, I would say so also.
And
We'll
Marinelli,
see. He's a tough freaking dude. So
yeah, he is a warrior. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I haven't heard anything about Marinelli. Marinelli lost that match, and then
I've heard I haven't either. I heard
what's that?
no, I heard he might have got hurt on that last takedown. I don't know.
Because after he lost, then I believe he medical forfeited the next match, right? I don't think he
Yeah, he did.
wrestled in the wrestlebacks. He had a mean, which would have been a good match. He medical forfeited that. So I saw him when they were doing the team trophy. He had a smile on his face. It was good to see that at least. I can't imagine the pressure it must be when you're expected to win and then you don't, and now you still like your team still won. You're still very excited.
Yeah, it's a weird feeling.
Yeah, you know that feeling.
Yeah, it's weird. Like you're very happy for your team, but at the same time, it's like, man, like wish I could get that back. But like team championship kind of trumps it though, because that's
Yeah.
what it is.
And I hope Marinelli comes back next year. I'm assuming he will. I see no reason why he wouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, hey,
I
if he
just
wants
like,
to, why not?
yeah, as a fan, I just like seeing the competition.
Yeah, I thought Keegan O'Toole was very good.
Yep. A lot of people, I saw a lot of random tweets like Yanni. I'm a Keegan O'Toole fan now. Like I saw a lot of that kind of stuff.
He kind of looks like a bigger version of Yanni almost, like physique wise and like everything.
Maybe that's why Yanni likes him.
I think so.
It kind of
too.
reminds me of myself. I like him.
And he's very scrambly, like creative, good in those weird positions. So that's probably why Yanni likes him.
Wenzel also proved that he was the real deal.
Jake's
a lot of people. I mean, you took him in the finals. A lot of people.
I think I told you he was going to make the finals before.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah,
you did beforehand. And you're very open about Pittsburgh bias, but you said like he's that good. Like he was beating Mackay before Mackay got hurt last month or whenever it was, and you had said like that day, like Wenzel's the real deal.
Yeah, he's very clingy, hard to score on, good on top, super strong, and in college wrestling, sometimes that's it. You need to be good in like a couple positions, hard to score on, take you to the national finals.
Yeah, Ethan Smith beating Valencia. I did not see that coming. This was
Ethan Smith had a very good year.
This was one weight that I got 8 out of the 10 champs right, picking the whole tournament. This was one I had Marinelli over Valencia in the finals. I could not have been more wrong about that.
A little off on that one.
Yeah, I don't know who would have had Griffith over Wenzel in the finals for 65 a week ago.
I bet some people might.
You would have had Wenzel in the finals.
I think I would have had Marinelli Wenzel final.
Yeah. Yeah. So Valencia, I believed, medical forfeited out. I thought.
I heard he got hurt pretty good too.
Yeah. I think he was supposed to.
What a mess of a weight.
I know. Wild. And every year something happens. How many freaking like there's no consistency. There's so many like new things that happen each year.
Mm-hmm.
It's wild. In part thanks to you. You've had your stamp on the weight. So 74. I think we were the only 2 guys in the United States.
besides for the Penn State guys.
Correct. That picked Carter over Kemmerer. And Sam Herring tweeted me saying, I don't hate the pick, but what's the logic behind Carter over Kemmerer? And I said, there's no logic behind it. Logic says Kemmerer is an amazing wrestler and is favored to win that match. I go back to when Cal was on this podcast in October, and I asked him who he's the most excited for, and he said Carter Starocki. And if you say that, that says something. And watching Carter over throughout the course of the year and watching him evolve, I just had a gut feeling that he could pull it off. And he looked amazing. He wrestled tough matches. I think he won a semifinal match like 2-0 over Demetrius Ramiro.
Third period right out.
Yeah, that
James
was
Sparks
just
loved it. James Sparks loved it. Bunch of good mat returns there too. Oh, it was perfect.
that might be Shane Sparks' match of the night.
Probably his match of the tournament. Third period right out for the win. No,
Yeah.
I think Carter looked awesome. Hats off to Michael Kemmer too. You know, he's an awesome wrestler, and that's another guy that I just will never really root against.
Yeah.
But you know, I wrestle with Carter all the time, and you know, so we all do. We know how good he is. Like that's why we pick him.
And
We like I wrestle with this guy. He's a freak athlete. He puts in so much work, and he outworks everybody. And you can see that when he wrestles his matches too. He wins by just outworking the other guy.
So, and that's like I told my wife, as soon as it went into overtime, I'm like, this is Carter's match. Like, this is what he's done. This is the Big Tens. He's done this throughout the year where he gets these close matches and he's just got ice in his veins. Yep. What I'm curious too is 174 pounds is 79 kilos.
Right.
He doesn't look like he has a lot of body mass to lose to drop down to 74.
I don't know.
And if you go up, you now have David Taylor, Bo Nickel, Aaron Brooks, all qualified at 86. Mark Hall at the last chance to qualify. And down at 74, Nolf is already at the trials. You're going to the last chance for 74. You think he'll go down to 74?
I have no idea. I don't think so. But
I don't know if
he hasn't really talked about it. He's been pretty focused just on the college season, so I don't think he really has put much thought into it yet.
Yeah. So he looked awesome. Also at 74, Bernie from Poly.
Oh yeah. That dude was awesome.
He had himself a tournament. He got a tech fall, then he had a sudden victory win. Then he beat Labriola 4-2. He lost to Kemmer in the semis 8-1, but just a stud. He is just especially when the first half of the tournament went so chalk, only one non-top 4 seed made the semis.
Well, what a stat.
Yeah. Also, your stat that you sent me this morning is just ridiculous.
I'll pull it up. So Andy Hamilton tweeted this. Penn State is 16-3 in NCAA title bouts since 2017.
That's wild.
I'll take one of those 3. But hey.
You can also take some of those wins, though.
Right.
So Carter, Kemmer, that was amazing match.
84. Both of my boys made the finals. And it sucks only one can win, but Aaron's the man.
I love Aaron. I can't wait to have him on this podcast. People are asking, like, he's definitely going to be on this podcast soon. Right. I love him. I love his wrestling. He looks so mature. He looks so cool and calm and collected. And as a man, as a person, like in the interview, like right away, it's like, I was just in David Carr's room. We were praying before this tournament. Like he's so level-headed. He doesn't seem swayed by things. And you heard a common theme, especially from Penn State and other people. Gable said it too, just staying focused.
Yeah.
And I think that's one area Penn State looks to do so well is they just stay focused and stay calm. I mean, to go 4-4 in the finals is just nuts.
Yeah, he's like you said, you pretty much nailed it. He's very mature. You can see it in his wrestling and just the way he carries himself. He's an awesome guy. He's someone awesome. Like he's so good to build your program around. You know, like that's their guy now. And like they have all these other hammers, and then we have more young guys coming in. So he's the man for that.
And hats off to Trent. He had me nervous. Like that dude has a gas tank.
Oh yeah, Trent can wrestle all day.
He had a gas tank and he was not letting up. Like that fight at the end of that match, that was a brawl. Like he was not going down without a fight. I mean, that was a close match. I thought Trent wrestled well all weekend. He had, a couple techs early on, and then he had a 3-1 win, and then a 2-1 win, I believe. So,
and sometimes those 2-1 wins are going to be just as impressive as like a major. It's hard to win those close ones.
And he's somebody who, talking with the Last Chance next weekend, could definitely throw a wrench in there. If he enters that weight, I mean,
he beat a lot of those guys at the what was it, Club Cup in December.
Yeah. So and you have already Mark Hall's registered, Gabe Dean's registered, Nate Jackson's registered, you've CJ Brucky. You got a lot of guys there. Top 2 qualify for the trials, so that's going to be interesting. Aaron Brooks, definitely just all around amazing guy. Trent, I'm a Trent fan. I'm definitely a Trent fan. It sucks when you're a fan of 2 guys, and it's like no matter what, you're going to be happy for one and bummed for one.
Yeah, for sure. Happens in the sport.
Yeah. So 97. I'm an AJ Ferrari fan.
Man,
I think he's turned me into a fan, because when you're a showman and you create all this content and then you back it up, you have my attention.
I actually agree with you, and like I caught myself. I wasn't rooting for him in the finals, to be honest, just because like I've known Bonacorsi like since we were kids.
Sure.
And I was pulling for my guy, but Ferrari's a freaking beast, dude. Like he has my attention also. His post-match interviews are awesome. He's a hype man. He's a hype beast.
It's funny because
it's corny, but it works.
Correct. There was a kid that wrestled on our team, Mike Terenzi. Same kind of like goofiness, meathead, and one of my buddies, Dan, texted me. He's like, "This is Terenzi all over again," and I started dying, just laughing hysterically. I'm like, "This is that kid's personality." It's funny because as we've talked about Penn State and the rebuilding constantly, where people graduate and somebody comes in and steps in. I think you're seeing that now on the marketing and brand side. Gable told us he's done with folk style.
Yeah,
I hope it's not true, but that very well could be the last time we see Gable in a folk style match. If so, I'm glad the sport has AJ Ferrari now.
Oh yeah, Sam. We need a personality. We need one.
And I saw the mixed bag of reactions. There's people who, man, if you don't like AJ Ferrari, you need to check your head. Other people, oh, AJ's a douchebag. AJ's just
he's a kid out there having the time of his life.
Correct. And he's winning. It's one thing if you're doing all that stuff and then you lose. Then it's like, okay, you look silly. He's doing it and he's winning. He's winning the Big 12s. He's winning the NCAA championship.
He hasn't done. I will back him up also with this. Like I haven't really seen him be like even like disrespectful with like that either. So it's like I don't know what the issue would be. So AJ Ferrari, do your thing, man.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna have him on this podcast.
100%.
Like doubt. He needs to come on this podcast. Yeah. Awesome victory over Amin. I think it was Adam Felters who tweeted out USA greater than San Marino, where Miles wrestles for. I love that. I'm a USA guy through and through. So I like that. I gave that a little retweet. But yeah, AJ Ferrari definitely impressed me. I love the antics. I love the showmanship. I think it's great for the sport. I think, when you have these larger than life personalities or stories, those are the things that ESPN picks up on. Those are the things that Barstool picks up on. That's what the sport needs. You need attention. Even the podcast. You need people talking about you, and that's what he's doing.
Yeah, you had freaking people tweeting about his 665-pound deadlift, like immediately.
Correct. And you had guys like Nolf making videos. Like, here's my 330-pound deadlift.
Right, yeah.
like that's good. That's what the sport needs. So I'm happy for AJ Ferrari. I'm very curious to see. It sounds like he said he walks around at 220. So I do not think he can make 86.
No, he's a 97-kilo guy.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean,
I'd love to see him go wrestle in the trials.
Him and Snyder. I don't think there's a shot he'll turn it down. I think he's just.
It's in Texas, so why wouldn't he?
I think he's got that just energetic. Hey, I'm going for it personality.
Yeah.
So I hope he goes. I'm happy for him. I'm trying to think what else at that weight. Warner should have got beat early on.
Mike Beard's an All-American. Take it.
Mike Beard, yeah. Mike Beard wrestled really good, especially early on. I think that Woodley match he could have won.
Yeah. That was I think Jake wrestled a great match there too. I mean,
yep.
That was just a tough one. They've been wrestling for years.
I can't believe it's funny because so much happens in 3 days. And one of the things we were texting about early on in the tournament was Nick Renan literally headlocked Warner,
Yeah,
and was up what 6-0, and then
he
loses
got hit with a stall call and then got taken
twice, right?
out. He got hit with 5
Well,
seconds left,
yeah. So I think he got hit for stalling, and then on the takedown they gave him another stalling point, or they
yeah,
gave Warner another stalling point.
which
Um,
that was a bit ridiculous, but
and allegedly Warner was throwing out some curse words after. I didn't hear the interview or I didn't hear anything, but yeah, that was interesting. You got to finish those matches. One move isn't often in folk style enough to win a match, but when you got a 6-0 lead,
mm-hmm.
you got to.
It's if you have a 6-0 lead in folk style, you just got to buckle down and be tough.
Yeah.
If you want to win, that's
So
really it.
that was 97, 285 heavyweight. Gable Stevenson said he was going to do it. He went out and did it. Hats off to Mason for closing the gap a little bit. He got majored by Gable at the Big Tens, and he lost 8-4 yesterday. And Gable said on this podcast, he's going for the techs, he's going for the pins, and Mason held him to a decision. So hats off for that. I think Mason looked very good. He had a pin, then a tech, then a major, then a fall. Gable is just that much better right now. It's wild.
Yeah, Mason Paris is awesome. Gable at this moment is the favorite to win the Olympics, I think, in most of our eyes. Yeah, that's a crazy heavyweight weight class. Cassiope's really good too. Even Schultz. Proud of my boy Greg, getting on the podium. He's been training for only like 4 weeks now.
Yeah.
So,
and that was a close, definitely closer match with Gable. 9-4, he lost, and
he got a takedown. Greg cleans it. Yeah, Greg cleans it up on the mat a little bit, and he's right there with these top guys.
Yeah, he looked really good beating Jordan Wood. I think it was like 12-2. Yeah, he looked great. I'm really excited for his future. I'm excited for him being healthy. I think Gable he's in his own world. He is just so dominant. When literally Mason Paris gets a pin, attack, a major, a pin, and then Gable goes out there and beats him like it's nothing.
Yeah, and like we said, and we could keep reiterating it, Paris is an awesome wrestler. Like, that's not someone that you usually just like beat up like that. He didn't really beat him up this time around, I'll say, but just like dominated.
Correct. Yeah, he had his way with him. It wasn't as much as even the Big Tens where he majored him,
Right.
But hats off to Gable.
Who's your AW?
I'm no bias. I'm going to say Nick Lee.
It has to be Nick Lee.
Just because he beat.
I think Shane Griffith won OW for the tournament.
Shane Griffith didn't officially win OW,
and that's cool. Also,
that's warranted. He's an 8 seed. He beat Marinelli.
In his black singlet.
Yeah, I definitely think a bit of the Stanford scenario played into the OW.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying he didn't deserve it. He 100% did, but I think that only adds on to it. For those, if anybody's living under the rock, Stanford sucks.
Yeah. Did you see what they tweeted about him after he won? It was like the most like plain, just like
no exclamation points, nothing.
It was like
I saw that.
Like you ever see the episode of The Office when like they're doing the birthday party and
it is your birthday.
Yeah, that's what it reminded me of. Like it was just so plain and stupid. I'm gonna see if I can find it.
Yeah, I actually saw that.
Yeah, I got it. Shane Griffith is the national champion. The redshirt sophomore completed his run at the NCAA Championship atop the podium Saturday at the Enterprise Center. Like,
it is your birthday. Dwight wrote that tweet.
It is your birthday. Like, where's the zero enthusiasm or excitement? They raised $12 million.
Well, and that's one of the crazy things about the story. And I don't know what's going to happen now. I don't know. Like, so obviously Stanford's heads up their butt and they're not really thinking clearly. I'm curious if they can overcome this because like this weekend you had everybody from Daniel Cormier to Big Cat at Barstool and everybody in between tweeting about Save Stanford Wrestling, showing like, guys, they raised $12 million. How do you still cut this program? And
where did that go? Like football locker room or something like that? Probably.
Correct. Yeah. Like, and if they have the money, what's the issue? $12 million can sustain that program for a long freaking time.
A very long time. But like how it works is whichever program like brings in the money, you have to like allocate it to like other sports, which is like a very stupid rule. So I don't know what they did with that, but definitely not keeping it for wrestling, which is
Well, the
insane.
$12 million that's raised is in an endowment.
Okay.
So the $12 million is basically like, my understanding is Stanford Wrestling has $12 million of commitments in a pot. So let's say I pledge basically $100 to it. Now it's $12,100,000. So that $12 million is straight like sitting there for the wrestling program. Like they're basically saying we will fund ourselves. Here's money for the next 15 years.
Yeah, I don't know how that works.
So it's going to be interesting. I mean, Stanford now has an NCAA champion on a program they discontinued. I love that Real Woods was the first guy I saw that they didn't wear logos on their singlets, nothing. Love that move. Shane Griffith is an absolute animal.
He is, man. I wrestled him his freshman year at the Southern Scuffle, and I knew right away he was going to be a problem. Like I think he's either a freshman or redshirt freshman. I don't remember.
Well, and
We had a
he
match, and like I knew right away. I was like, this guy's going to be, probably national champ at some point.
And it's funny, somebody DM'd me. It's funny when people like DM instead of tweet certain things. Somebody DM'd me a photo from like 4 years ago with, I believe his sister goes to Penn State.
Okay.
Either a sister or a girlfriend goes to Penn State. So somebody DM'd me a photo of his from Instagram like 4 years ago. And they're like, do you think he could go to transfer to Penn State? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what these Stanford kids are going to do. Like he said last night, I almost didn't wrestle the season.
Right. And for one, I would love to see them not, end their program and see him wrestle for Stanford
100%.
To finish his career. But if that doesn't happen and he wants to come to State College, I'm sure we're cool with that too. So,
Real Woods, I know, wants to go to MMA too. There's room for that in State College too, with Bo's gym opening soon.
We have plenty of room for both those guys.
So
Stanford though.
Yeah, Stanford Wrestling. When my wife and I went down the street to get breakfast this morning, I actually called one of the athletic directors, or like you see all these phone numbers. So I like reached the office of the AD or somebody, left the voicemail, and I just said, "Hey, I just want to let you know. I don't know if you saw last night, Shane Griffith was an 8 seed at the NCAA tournament and won the whole thing. So Stanford as an NCAA champion. Just want you guys to know that. If I can answer any other questions for you, just let me know." Have a good day.
Perfect. And
if
that's
nothing,
hopefully he has 1,000 other messages.
Correct. Yeah. I saw Kevin, guy who runs at Philly Wrestling. He's a great dude. I saw he emailed them. He like posted a screenshot of his email this morning. Same thing. It's not even like bullying them. It's just like, hey, just want to let you know, go Shane Griffith.
I think Mark Hall did like the same thing. He just commented on their Instagram, like on Stanford Athletics Instagram, said like Shane Griffith is a national champ. Screenshot it, posted it.
He also used the clown emoji, which I always like.
And the clown emoji. Clown emoji's perfect.
Yeah. So OW is Nick Lee. Do you give Nick Lee the same?
I mean, I have to. That's my guy.
No bias, just honest picks.
He wrestled a heck of a tournament too.
He did.
Like, come on now. He was beating guys up, and then once he got to Rivera, he looked awesome, and then he looked awesome against Ironman too. I'm going Nick Lee for sure.
If it came down to just Spencer or Gable, out of those two, which one would you pick?
It's so hard to pick between those two guys, and now just like knowing how hurt Spencer was wrestling that tournament and dominating, man, I don't know. I love watching Gable though too. It's just like
for me,
they're both so good. It's hard to pick between the two, but I'm going Gable.
For me, it's a coin flip, and I literally in the last week I asked both of them, "What do you think about the Hodge?" Gable said, "I want it." Spencer says, "I don't. I already have one." So I'm giving it to Gable.
I'm all for that. I don't know how truthful that is from Spencer. I bet he
100%.
Trophy. He was fired up after his match too.
Yeah, he was.
He was pumped up.
That was one of his best post-match interviews ever.
Yeah, I was cool with that. I liked it.
I think Spencer's coming into his own a bit more. He seemed like more of a shy guy. He's been on this podcast like a year and a half ago. And I think he's coming out of his shell more and more, which I love. I think all wrestlers need to do that. And that was an awesome post-match. He was definitely amped up. I said excuses are for wussies.
Yeah.
I love that. So yeah, both Spencer and Gable and Nick Lee, all three of them, in my opinion, deserve the Hodge. Whoever gets it earned it.
Yeah, no doubt. It won't be. I'm sure it's going to go to probably Gable or Spencer, like realistically,
Yeah.
and either one of those guys deserve a Hodge Trophy. So it's going to be all good.
Yeah. So we're gonna try to get a couple guys on after this, some NCAA champions to talk to. Cenzo is going to be off the podcast for a couple of weeks. He's competing this weekend. When do you head out? Tuesday?
Probably Thursday.
Thursday? Oh, I thought you had to be out there like a couple of days before for COVID testing.
Maybe Wednesday. That's just for trials, probably.
Okay. I wonder if that's just trials. The last chance is going to be a blast. Actually, shoot.
I'm excited for Texas weather.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I'm in Miami, and it's 80 and sunny. And it's like, I don't think I could ever not go to the NCAAs in a normal year. But there's nothing like going down to the pool in between sessions and having a Mai Tai. So what I had told somebody the other day was, if this happened again, the move is go rent a big house in Miami or something and have like 10 guys. Outdoor TV setup, chill by the pool. That would be an amazing experience.
Yeah, I mean, I had a good time watching it with the boys here. We were super into it. So
who were you watching it with? Because I saw a couple videos of a couple people. I saw like Bo and Gilman were at Nolf's or something.
Yeah, I wasn't there. I was with a few of the guys that are on the team now, but we were on the phone with them a little bit though. It was a bit hectic.
Yeah, I can't even imagine. I mean, it was hectic. It was just my wife and I in the hotel room. Yeah. Next year NCAAs though, there's a good shot we both go as media.
I'm ready.
And that would be the tournament of a lifetime.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have like a hand mic, for sure. That'll just be walking around like asking
Big Cat style.
100%.
It would be so hilarious too, because like there's different personalities more and more in media. I think biasly, I know how blessed I feel to have you on this podcast because there are no other good wrestlers doing media. Like Ben Askren is the only one, and he's MMA fighter now more than wrestler. Yeah. So I think there's something too. There's a big difference between me looking like an idiot asking somebody a fan in an arena and a two-time NCAA champ doing it. Like you've been there and you've like been at the center of 20,000 people cheering and booing for you.
Yeah, it's fun.
Then to stand there with a mic and just ask random people questions would be hilarious.
Also, speaking of that, I watched myself get freaking cradled about 15 times this weekend.
Yeah, I didn't like that. I can't imagine how you felt about
it. That highlight, they love posting that highlight. I mean, hey.
Why can't they show you when you won? I don't get it.
Because it's been like 4 years. That's why.
It's funny how much of a sport wrestling is for like, what have you done for me lately?
Yeah.
Like every mention you got in the NCAAs was losing. Forget that you're a two-time champ.
Yeah.
Like, that's wild.
Because that's like more of a storyline, right? Like I lost, then like, it was the same thing whenever I won. The storyline was Martinez lost.
Yeah.
Like that's really it.
It would also be fun to get a Baschamania suite at the NCAAs. And
I like where your head's at.
The characters we would have in that suite would be amazing. I'm all for that. I actually bought a raffle ticket for the PRTC. They're doing a raffle for like hotel, airfare, steak dinner, and tickets for the trials. If I win that, we're going to give it away on the podcast.
Very good.
I don't know what we'll do, but
promo code Cenzo. For Manscaped, by the way.
Manscaped.com. Promo code Cenzo. Buy Lawnmower 3.0. Guys, if you don't want it, give it as a gift to somebody.
Yeah.
There's a wrestler, there's a friend, there's somebody who will love it and use it. Go to manscaped.com. Yeah, it's literally on Bash Solutions. I've posted like birthday shout outs like 5 times this week for people wearing Bash gear.
It's always somebody's birthday.
Yeah. Manscaped.com, promo code Cenzo. So we got Nick Lee on. And Nick, real quick.
NCAA champ Nick Lee.
NCAA champ Nick Lee. And before we get started on that, real quick, I have to address this because we were just talking about fantasy. I won my fantasy pool with 138.5 points. The runner-up had 137.5 points. And the guy, Eric Siebert, who runs it, was dying laughing. I'm like, what's so funny? He's like, so you literally won because Max Murin lost a point and the guy in second had Max. So literally him throwing a fit at the end of the match and losing a point made me champion. Thank you, Iowa. I mean,
got to stay cool on the mat. So.
Yeah, but I'm going to need some pointers from you because now that I'm officially an NCAA champion in fantasy, you seem a lot more humble. The first thing I want to ask you, because I've heard you say this before, and I have to read the book. Can you summarize chop wood, carry water?
Yeah, I mean, to me, and this like that, Coach Kale actually brought that into our room, and he read the book, and to me, that's just kind of indicative of what we do, right? Before the national turn, or it's before enlightenment, you chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, you chop wood, carry water, right? Before winning national title, you do all the right things and stay disciplined. After national title, it's going to be the same thing every day. So we're back to work tomorrow.
You have no rest.
No, I'm resting today.
That's a travel day. That's not a rest day. Travel day.
You earned today, I think.
I'll have to, so that's satisfying.
Yes. You wrestled a freaking awesome tournament, and I kind of feel weird interviewing you, but like, can you just like walk us through it a little bit, just like how you felt like each round and stuff? Because you looked like you were just like you were on your game.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I felt really good that tournament, and I think as far as like physically, I think I felt the same as I would have in any tournament, but just like mentally, I was really excited to be there and like ready to go. And yeah, I think I was missing that a little bit earlier in the season for whatever reason. It's been a really weird year, but the Big Ten tournament and seeing how well our young guys were doing just like energized me, and feeling the rest of the team there, it's just like it made me really happy. And I was just like I was really happy to be there, and I was dialed in. So as Roman would say,
you could see that because you're more stoic like Nolf typically was. But after you beat Rivera, you could see the emotion.
Yeah, I was pretty happy. And it's like it's nothing about like my opponents or anything. It's just like really awesome it's my goal that I'm achieving, but I look over in my corner at my coaches and it's like I just achieved something with them too, right? So it's even more than just like doing it for myself. Like I feel like we just achieved something as a family. It's really awesome.
Do you feel that you made changes in between your match with Ironman at Big Tens and NCAAs, or did you do the same thing and it was a different result?
Absolutely. I think between every single match with a high level opponent like that, you definitely make some changes. I never ended up being on bottom, but I definitely worked on bottom a lot, and just fine tuning strategy and stuff. And it didn't change a whole lot, to be honest, just little things, but just putting a little bit of thought in that can be all the difference.
So you didn't call Cenzo for inside trip advice? Because he got tagged a lot on Twitter.
I sure did, and I was like, I had nothing to do with that. Like that was an awesome trip that I was very proud of, but that I had nothing to do with.
I learned my inside trips from Cenzo at Penn State wrestling camp whenever I was a counselor. So, yeah.
What made you go to that?
I didn't go to it. It came to me. So that's
chop wood, carry water.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of just like looked like you did it at Big Tens too with Rivera, just like from the flow of the position. I was like Chip's there, and then you crushed him with it.
I my freshman year, I had gotten a lot of trouble trying to go upper body with guys, and now I'm not trying to go upper body unless someone comes upper body and wants to wrestle there, and then at that point it's like, all right, let's wrestle.
So, and it's kind of crazy because like I'll see people that are like they'll get frustrated with you, and then like they try to rush upper body, and every time someone tries to rush upper body with you, they usually end up getting thrown.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a great thing in wrestling to rush upper body.
No,
so it would be advice to live by. I've definitely like learned my lesson doing that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, I
was like, yeah, me too.
Greco as a kid, so I don't know, maybe that helped out. But yeah, it's not something that I like practice a whole lot. I think it's just something that you have to have experience wrestling there. So as Cenzo could probably say the same thing.
All right. So another question I have for you is I mean, we could talk about it more when Roman comes on if he pops in, but if he even shows up, freaking, Carter's match, you guys were going crazy.
Dude,
Can you talk
I
about that a little bit?
yeah, like I don't even know what to say, man. I like almost like was brought to tears, bro. That dude is the most focused guy ever. I mean, he wanted it more than anybody in the whole tournament. I'm just like, I'm so proud of him, man. He deserves every bit of that, and I just don't know what else to say. I'm so proud of him. You know as well as I do that dude is in there all the time. I mean, we got to tell him to stay out of the room because he's freaking in there so much. So he's had a
Sleeps
great
man.
he stepped up to like a leadership position as a freshman, which is incredible. I'm just super proud of that guy. The sky's the limit for Carr Strachey.
And speaking of
awesome.
teammates, I believe you tweeted out or Instagrammed out that Joe Lee, ultimate hype man, we saw him during your match. How much during the tournament are you paying attention to him and then like either trying to not really coach him, but like give him like brotherly advice? Like, do you try to wait until after the tournament? Because I'm sure he did things that you either wanted to talk on or touch on. Do you kind of put that all aside till after?
I mean, that's the life of a big brother. Is I'm like my whole life I've been like kind of coaching him and
Yeah.
hey, you need to do it this way, not this way, and sometimes he responds, sometimes he doesn't, and it's a kind of thing where sometimes you have to let him figure it out. And it can be an issue for me too if I'm too invested in my brother's matches. So
Yeah.
during wrestling matches, I try to just step away, let him do his thing. He's got a full coaching staff whose job it is to coach him, so I trust them. And it's definitely, whenever he loses or wins, it's like it's also my win or loss, right? So it's definitely something where I have to forcibly like pull myself away sometimes. But yeah, Joe is he's the man. He's gonna be good. He didn't get what he wanted in the tournament, but it's an opportunity to learn a lot. So I'm really happy for him and I'm proud of him.
How much momentum do you think you felt or didn't feel after Roman won?
A lot of momentum.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Like, what is that like?
just seeing Roman go out there because I know we're on the same training plan, right? I know that he trains as hard as anybody, and so seeing him out there wrestle one of the best wrestlers in the world probably and win like that, just it made me know that I'm also ready for this. So it was exciting. Plus, I was super happy for him. So I love wrestling after Roman. It's awesome.
Yeah, I almost hit my head on the ceiling when you two won.
I will say that momentum is very real. Like you can feel it, and
Yeah.
like once after your match, I was like, ooh, I feel a lot more confident for Carter now after we got the first two. So
Is it perspective or is it just adrenaline? What is it about it?
think, I mean, I think just seeing your teammate win and kind of knowing how you match up with your teammate can give you confidence in your training and the fact that you're ready, right? Because I know Carter and Aaron were like ready to go going into their matches, after we both won. And I saw Roman win, and just knowing how hard he trains and that we train just as hard and that we're all with the same mindset, the same focus. I saw him win, and like I feel like at that point I knew we were gonna win four. I didn't know we were gonna win four until after I won though. So
right.
Where is this? So another thing I'm curious about, if you had to pick someone that you were most surprised by, both it can be Penn State or non-Penn State, but I'm assuming it's going to be someone at Penn State. Someone you're most surprised at.
surprised. I mean, it's hard to say I'm surprised about anyone on our team, right? I mean, like those guys work so hard. I'm expecting all of them to win. Um, but I would say just for like the young guys like Aaron and Carter, the way they've stepped up into like leadership positions on the team and like how they lead at like such a young age and still being really young on the team is incredible to me. I mean, those guys are something else. I'm really excited for them. And then I'll also say Robbie Howard. Robert. We're calling him Robert, actually.
Okay.
Wait,
His official note.
is that like forever now? He's Robert.
He's Robert.
He
Yeah.
he graduate from Robbie.
By order of Coach Cody, it's Robert now. So
Wow. Okay.
I wrestled with him all week, and he had some injuries and stuff there, and he got thrown to the wolves, honestly, with this season. But I am like super excited for him because I was wrestling with him, and I knew he wasn't 100% healthy, and I'm feeling him, and he's fast, strong, mean. Like, this dude wasn't letting me have takedowns in the middle of the drill before the nationals, and I was like, dude, this guy is going to be so good. So I am super excited for Robert Howard. I mean, that's a guy to look out for.
I like to hear that. How about any non-Penn State guys? If you even watched any, because I know you probably watched a little bit.
Yeah, I try to focus on our guys, but I will say that Shane Griffith out of Stanford, that was awesome, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's especially special given what's going on with their program. And I think it's something that people need to look at seriously, and hopefully put some pressure on Stanford to make the right decision there. But that was really awesome to see, and I think like that's kind of an exclamation point on the year for him and just for wrestling in general.
I couldn't agree more. I think that was awesome for him, and hopefully they freaking
they need to make
do
right.
about that. Another thing, did Sammy Sasso have two? Totally different topic.
Not gonna
Sammy
answer.
Sasso, did he have a takedown?
I'm not gonna answer.
You're not gonna answer that. But you could have a thought on it. I mean, he didn't in the match, so like I guess the actual answer is no. But
I don't know. I don't know. I'll leave that to the fans of those teams to argue
So
about.
politically. All right. So now you're an NCAA champion. Now you have literally 2 weeks and you're in another gauntlet, Olympic trials, which the field is just stupid. What's the perspective now transitioning from NCAAs where you were just working on bottom? Ironman's a really good top wrestler, but freestyle, and as many wrestlers tell me, is that both are the same, right? Wrestling's wrestling. But you 10-0'd Ironman the last time you guys wrestled, I believe, in freestyle. He's a different wrestler, folk style. You work on things like bottom. Now you're transitioning back to freestyle. What's the perspective when you have like a week and a half?
I'm gonna start getting gut wrenched a little bit to get my ribs ready. But other than that, it's like I just went through a really tough tournament, and I'm ready for another one. This one's, I would say, tougher. So I'm pretty excited though. Like, that's what makes wrestling fun, is wrestling the best competition in the world. So I'm really excited. It's gonna be a fun tournament, and I'm just gonna have to tidy up my mind as far as some nuances in freestyle. But other than that, man, I'm ready to go.
That's awesome.
Everybody says that wrestling's wrestling. It's not that big of a deal. Whereas as a fan, it's so different from a perspective of watching it, what you're rooting for, top, bottom, neutral, and everything you're doing. And then the wrestlers like wrestling's wrestling. But it is a good point that you just wrestled a very tough tournament with Rivera and Ironman in the semis and finals. And that conditioning wise, and that you can't replicate that. You can have matches in the room and you can try to simulate it as much as possible. But to replicate that, it's got to be almost impossible.
Yeah, it's really hard. You could train as hard as you want, but a real match for 7 minutes is something else, especially when it's high stakes. Like it gets your lungs like no other. So you are correct.
And I assume that my tweet was correct, that you were properly caffeinated. It looked like you were bullying people. What was the coffee of choice for the NCAA tournament?
It's a great question.
It was whatever K-cups they had in the hotel room.
Wow.
So you're a Keurig K-cup guy.
The K-cups got it done.
Well, it was convenience.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
And then actually we get Starbucks too. So I didn't really have much of that, but Starbucks was also the choice. So I didn't see like a Dunkin' around, to be honest.
You know what? I will say at tournaments like that, sometimes it's just, you got to take what you can get.
You got to take what you can get and not be picky and overcome that adversity of not having Dunkin' coffee. So.
And then
Yeah.
you're going to go from St. Louis to Penn State. Now you got to find some good coffee in Dallas. So it's going to be
Yeah, I don't know. I've been down there once before, and I think it was Starbucks there as well. So we're hoping Cenzo's going down a little earlier than me, so hopefully he can shout out some coffee places.
And that's the plan.
There. Yeah.
Me and
we'll report back.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm gonna head down early. I'll probably wrestle the week before at the last chance, and then I'll look for coffee places for the boys too.
Do the most important thing.
And Nick, I tweeted out last night, who do you give the Hodge to? Gable or Spencer? And I got ambushed with Nick Lee responses. If the Hodge trophy contest was in your hands, who would you give it to?
Gosh. I don't know. I mean, it's like Gable's definitely, completely dominant from what we saw. And then, Spencer Lee also just like, I think he had like pinned and tech his way through the season almost, right? There's been a few matches where he didn't, but like just all bonus points. So I think statistically you have to give it to Spencer, right? But that's just like it's a really hard choice. So I'm going to say no answer.
What
No
about
answer.
Roman? Roman's he's a viable option.
What's up?
If it wasn't statistical and it was the eyeball test, I'm giving it to Roman, man. I mean,
Thank you.
I don't know if you saw in the finals, but there's like a bunch of people trying to replicate his footwork. It just didn't work out for him.
What is all that noise going on?
Yeah. Roman, what are you doing,
Is
man?
there a party at Roman's house?
Yeah, it's AB. He has music on full blast. His girlfriend's his girlfriend has balloons in for him, and they're being loud. But I could tell him to be quiet. One sec.
She's got balloons for him. I love that.
So Nick,
I wish you would have brought the phone for that.
you're just gonna you're gonna stay away from the question. I said pretty much the same thing, but I went nod to Gable because Spencer won the Hodge last year, and that's really the only reason for that. But my real answer is Nick Lee for Hodge. So
Yeah, that was literally. And my question was kind of poorly worded because it was kind of basically if it came down to these two. Obviously, there's other candidates for it, and the Penn State faithful definitely let me have it. So also now that Roman's here too, Cenzo and I.
So also a national champ, by the way.
Yes, sir.
Another national champ. And now that both of you guys have won a national champ, Penn State has officially had a national champ at all 10 weights, which is wild.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm honestly got to give a lot of love to Coach Cody, and I'm happy for him, and I'm just thankful for him. Coach Cody does a lot for the lightweights, and I think it makes him look good too. He's doing the right things.
Yeah, I'd say so.
I actually it was kind of funny. I was watching Brody Teske wrestle, and he was doing Coach Cody's like shot defense.
Yeah.
And I was watching. I was like, that's literally Cody.
Coach. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Roman, you know that Cenzo and I both picked you. I'm sure Nick picked you to win. There were a lot of people dating Fix as an incredible wrestler. What were you thinking going into that match? You seemed so confident.
Yeah, just a lot of believing in myself, trusting Coach Cody. And what's also funny is like right before I went out there, like 2 hours before, I'm sitting in the hotel all day. I'm watching Cenzo beat Imar when he wasn't like favorite to win, stuff like that. So I'm just watching that, getting hype. I'm like, I just thought to myself, might as well go. Like Cody was telling me, might as well go win this mug. You're here. So just believe in myself, and then went out there, wrestled calmly, never really get overwhelmed, even though I got dinged for stalling, and then found a way at the end.
Now, we got frustrated as fans for the stalling. Mm-hmm. Did you stay like cool and calm and collected and not get frustrated? Because I want to punch the ref, but you seem pretty calm.
Yeah, I don't think I ever get frustrated in my matches. I just kind of keep a straight face, but I don't know. It kind of happens so fast, and then it's kind of like, dang, well, I got to find a way to win, and I don't want to lose. It's kind of a lot going through my mind, but it doesn't matter. I finally won, and it's cool.
Yeah, man, we were going crazy for all you got.
Appreciate it, bro.
Obviously, but
4 for 4.
Yeah, dude, that was wild. But you got hit with stalling like twice in 20 seconds, and I was like, that's kind of crap. But
yeah, he's I just thought he wasn't really shooting on me, but he was pushing me quite a bit. But yeah, I mean, he's a good wrestler, Dane Fix. I mean, what hasn't he won? He's been the top name since a kid, but found a way. Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, that was awesome.
So there's also been like probably 550 tweets about now that you're qualified for the Olympic trials. You're like a 60, 61 kilo guy. So you can either go up to 65 and meet your buddy Nick Lee or cut down to 57. Have you given much thought to it?
No, but I was definitely gonna put out a little troll tweet, see what's up. But
nothing wrong with that.
But no, I haven't really put in too much thought. You know, I'm honestly just gonna enjoy this for a little bit. I don't really know if I can make 57. I'm not trying to go up and get my butt kicked by Nick Lee or Zane. So I'm just chilling right now, help Gilman and then just root for Cenzo this upcoming weekend and the guys. And I'm gonna be out there watching. So either way, I'll be happy, you know.
So here's a question for you too, because I literally just thought about this 5 minutes before we hopped on the Zoom. If you qualify for the Olympic trials, you're also qualified for the world team trials. So you're technically qualified for the world team trials at 61 kilos.
Oh, I'm there 100%. That's one of my goals now. And then obviously that, get more into titles, but for sure my next big thing is just hang out until 61 world team trials. That's like my main focus next.
Which I don't think it's for a while. I don't think it's till September or something.
Just gonna go back to the West Coast, train a little MMA, have some fun, do some camps, and just enjoy it, and then come back here and get back to it.
I love Quinn's question on ESPN. Something about MMA and how your footwork or something helped you. I forgot what he said, but you just looked at him like, wait, what did you ask? I'm not really sure.
Yeah, so many people like this weekend, like Nikki was saying, like everyone's trying to do my footwork and they're asking like, how do I do it? And like people ask me to teach them, but I don't know. It's just starting some trends.
Yeah, and speaking of starting trends, Nick had just said that he felt the momentum from your win. That helps him win. That builds confidence. Did you feel that after your match, like that other guys were now rubbing off your momentum? They're capturing the momentum from your match?
Yeah, I knew it fired Nick Lee up, and I was kind of excited I went first. I wanted to get it over with, and I couldn't stop thinking about that match. Like since I made the finals, I literally couldn't sleep the night before. I stayed up till like 2 a.m. just thinking about this match. But yeah, I was excited I went first, and I think after Nick Lee won, Carter was gonna find a way, and it's just crazy how we all found a way in overtime, and we were all like 2 and 3 seeds, and it just shows that what Kale has going on, and just his process is just peaking at the right time and just trusting his plan, and all glory to God.
Yeah, I mean, you guys definitely just showed that, you know, you're tough and you wanted to win. Like just how you were able to win those matches, like overtime, like 3-2, just being tough, like not giving an inch. And I think that really just comes a lot from Coach Kale and just like everyone else like in the room too.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you guys know it. We've been living it for years.
Following you guys' footsteps.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now that you have this like kind of gap before, you know, the world team trials, if you can't make 57 for the Olympic trials, do you want to keep doing MMA stuff and keep working on what you're doing?
Yeah, I'm gonna do both, you know. It's just fun, you know, just I'll probably be out with Dom Cruz in April. I think he's gonna get a new fight pretty soon. Then I'm gonna be with him the whole time and go with him out there. Then Juan Archuleta is gonna fight soon. He asked me to come out there, so it's just cool being around these guys. And I mean, it's good training too, so it's not like I'm not training. Yeah. So, and it's just a little break from. I mean, it's not really a break from wrestling because they'll do wrestling some days, but just being around like other successful people in different sports, fun. But I don't have any intentions on fighting yet. But I just enjoy like doing something different.
And are we gonna get an NCAA champion blog article?
Yeah, you know, honestly, I'm gonna start doing that. It really hasn't sunk in yet. I think it will in a little bit. And last night, like everyone was blowing me up. People I haven't talked to in years were hitting me up. But yeah, I think I'm gonna.
Yeah, that's how it goes when you win.
But I'm definitely gonna do a little blog. You know, it was a long season, and a lot of people don't see like the emotional roller coaster. Man, getting tested after every session at NCAAs was kind of frustrating.
Oh, I didn't know that. They tested you guys after every session?
or not every session, maybe once a day. My bad.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say
The
that's still wild.
once a day. Yeah, we got to get tested. We got to wait, and it just sucked, But in the long season, we went on pause. Didn't know if we are gonna have a season. I definitely a good little blog though. But at the end of the day,
Can you hear me now?
we all found a way, and it's.
I was
Nick,
going to say I'll read Romans first.
Sorry to
And then,
interrupt. I gotta just know.
Nick, you got
Nick-
no audio.
Nick,
don't have
Nick
sound.
Lee's doing homework right now.
For real.
Now we can.
Yeah.
yeah,
That's fair.
Nick, I think
I
we
just
do
have
need
the
a little more
Instagram.
content.
I don't really
from
have
you, though.
anything else. So
Like just like this much more. And I know you're not a big content guy because neither am I. But
throw me
just
off, honestly. I like
I
to
was-
get
just this
to be thrown off
fun.
people's or
Just
to
a little
throw
bit.
my. I like to hide my tracks a little bit. So
No, but that's not Nick Lee.
Yeah,
On
that's not
Instagram,
even
that's
you.
not Nick Lee.
throw me off, honestly. I like to get to be thrown off people's or to throw my. I like to hide my tracks a little bit. So
The funny thing is, somebody was asking me the other day, because when we built Kale's website initially, it was like 2009 maybe. And from 2011 to 2013, Kale probably blogged like 50 times. And one of them went stupid viral. It's called like Why My Kids Will Wrestle. But his website still just sits on our servers. And I was thinking about the other day, and I went in. There's literally like 50 blogs. Like, I think I'm going to tell him, like, Cal, we should really just publish a book. Your 50 blog articles from your website. They're great. Like, if you look at the substance of them, I got to give his permission to like repurpose them because they're great. But it is interesting when I was watching both of you guys win, what made me really happy, or one of the many things, is I've always preached when it comes to content to do you. And you guys are both on different ends of the spectrum with a focus on content. And it's awesome to see that you guys can both do what you want, knowing what's best for you, and win. Nick, you're off Instagram more. Roman's creating a lot of content, and neither of you are distracted by it. Nick, you're not distracted by not being on it as much and posting stuff. Roman's not getting distracted by putting it out. I think it's a good testament to the fact that you have to know you and do you, and that's ultimately what's going to help not get distracted, is knowing your strengths and weaknesses. And it was awesome to see you guys both win, both just kind of knowing what's best for you and then going out there and winning. I love that.
yeah, I mean, that's one thing I've really learned to appreciate over the past couple of years is people do their own thing different ways, right? I think there's probably a time whenever I like people would have thought that like me and Roman, totally different people, maybe don't get along, but like, dude, I like love Roman. What he does is his his thing, and I'm really happy for him. I love looking at it and stuff, and I don't really have a knack for it, but I think it just shows that like wrestling is a sport that freaking brings people together, man. I mean, it's something I'm like, I would have never been friends with a lot of guys that I am friends with today. And I'm so thankful for it.
I wouldn't be doing this podcast if it wasn't for wrestling. So
Hey, I don't think any of us would actually.
Yeah. But it's cool because to that effect, like I heard somebody that was talking about a podcast and reasons to do it. And they had said, like, even if nobody listened to my podcast, I would still do it because it gives me the opportunity to have the conversations that he gets to have. And I liked that because that's truth. Like with a lot of guys that come on here, if nobody else listened to it, which it's kind of awkward now because we've got a sponsor, Manscaped. By the way, if you guys want, get a lawnmower 3.0 at manscaped.com. Promo code Cenzo gets you 20% off and free shipping. But it is true. There are so many, the bonds that wrestling has is so great. And going back to Cal's blog article, I'm pretty sure that's somewhere in there, like the 10 reasons, my kids will wrestle. The bonds and camaraderie the sport has, there's nothing like it.
Yeah, and it just teaches you to fight too for pretty much anything. So can't beat that.
Roman, when's the next vlog? Speaking of content,
yeah, I'll probably post a little my video guy. I'll probably get something up today, and then
my video guy, I love you.
Video guy.
yeah, probably get something up today, and then yeah. But honestly, though, these past few weeks, like Big Tens, like honestly, this whole season, I kind of just stayed off of it, and I just listened to Kale, and then I posted, but as soon as I post, I'd hop on it. I didn't have it at all at NCAAs. Didn't hop on it one time, and like on Twitter, if I do tweet something, it's literally just positivity, just being more positive and putting more positivity out there, and like good things will happen. So I think that pays off. But yeah, I'll probably get a I'll probably get a video up today. Then I'm gonna go back home this week, probably shoot some stuff with my guy and see what we can cook up. But I'm trying to come. We got some plans just to bring some different content that wrestlers don't do. So I'm not gonna be posting up behind a car or I don't know. We're gonna do some different stuff. We got plans.
I like that. Mix it up
Yeah,
a
it's
little
gonna,
bit.
it's gonna be cool though.
Is that
Mix it up
shots
a little
fired
bit.
at Gable?
No. It's just I just want to.
Gable
Content
loves the
is
Carr
value.
shot.
Yeah, like I feel like a good thing like content is how you're gonna bring value to like other people and how do you interact. So I think I'm gonna do some like videos, talking to kids about mindset. We have some plans.
I love that.
Any like ideas to collab with AJ Ferrari?
No,
future?
but man, it was actually last night. After all there was a whole bunch of wrestlers just at the hotel hanging, and that's a funny, interesting guy. But you gotta give credit where it's due at the end of the day.
Absolutely, he was electric, dude.
Yeah, he people hate him or love him. People are gonna tune in and watch him. All respect for him.
And
Yep.
he's winning, and that's the big thing.
Yeah,
Like
exactly. You can't say nothing.
after Big 12s, Cenzo and I were talking about it, and it's like that's bold. You know, you're doing stuff during your match and after, but you go out and win a conference championship, you win an NCAA
Do
championship.
your thing, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, as a freshman, that's kind of how it is. Like people on social media too. If whatever they're doing is working, just let it be.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, because we had asked Nick, somebody who impressed him at NCAAs, not on Penn State team. He said Shane Griffith, an amazing feat. Anybody impress you at NCAAs outside of Penn State?
David Carr was a good one.
Carr's good.
Yeah, honestly, I think the biggest was Shane beating Marinelli. That was huge, but man, I was really rooting for Sass. So I'm a really big
Was
fan
that
of
too?
Sass.
Yeah.
I have not seen it again, but I definitely thought it was. It just looks like it in at the arena, but I definitely like Sass. So, who else did pretty good? Yeah, I would go with David Carr.
Yeah, David Carr,
Being
an
hit-
awesome tournament.
Yeah, beating Hidley, and then he found a way to get it done. But man, if Brady Berge didn't get hurt and a couple of things went our way, we would have been right in the mix, man.
Yeah, I don't doubt that at all. And it looked like it was going that way, but
It's all good. Yeah, God's plan.
happens.
Yeah, we'll be back.
But
Mhm.
there's nothing better than if you do lose the team title and you don't come in first. There's absolutely nothing better than going 4 for 4 in the finals and spoiling the party. Because that's what everybody was saying. Like, Iowa might have won the team title, and they can have that. But Penn State stole the show. Like, going 4 for 4 in the finals before Spencer even gets to wrestle. Like,
Yeah.
that's kind of a buzzkill for Iowa fans, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think I'm telling you, like it still hasn't sit in. Like I just remember my freshman year. I just remember like the Cenzo and those guys going, what they go 5 for 5, just seeing that, and then okay, now I'm part of something 4 for 4. It's just crazy that like I don't know. I pretty much won. I just never thought, it's a dream since I was a kid. But back to normal though. Like Nick Lee said, what do you say? Chop wood. What is it?
Chop.
Carry,
What is it?
chop wood, carry water.
Chop wood, carry water. Back
You
to
gotta
work.
Kale, he says that like 10 times at practice.
He's on his phone.
I don't even listen to him. I don't even know what it is. Half the things Kale says goes in my ear at practice.
He has some good stuff, man. You gotta listen sometime.
Yeah.
I'm going to need to publish his blogs just so you can go back and read them.
Yeah, those are honestly probably good. I was journaling on the plane and he was too, so I definitely know he has some good thoughts.
He put up a good blog on ROKFIN on the NLWC ROKFIN last week. That's a good read for anybody to listen to. But yeah, journaling is a big thing. He's always been big into journaling. Nick Lee, do you do any journaling?
I do a little bit.
Any intention, if I build the website, any intention to publish them on notnicklee.com?
Probably not. I'll find
Shoot.
other content to put out.
No, we can get him. He has a funny sense of humor that needs to get out there.
I think so
And
too.
he
Maybe
only
not-
has one more year. You gotta send it now.
Yeah, I agree with Roman. I mean, you don't gotta have to send it fully, but just
Yeah, a little bit.
We need a little Nick Lee out there. for
He's
people.
Yeah.
definitely something more people should see.
I got an idea. Last idea here, and then I'm going to let everybody go. Roman, bring your guy to the Olympic trials, and Nick Lee's going to vlog.
Listen, I'm going to Arizona, and then I'm gonna drive from AZ to trials, and if he wants to come, I'll bring him. But I have a camera too, and I'll literally document Nick Lee. And I don't
love
know.
it.
Let's go.
You can do some stuff. Now I'm just hanging out, so I'm down for anything.
Nick, you cut out. No mic.
It'll be about the lowest views you've ever had on a vlog following me.
I highly doubt exactly.
I don't think so.
Yeah. No, I think that's great. I think it needs to happen. But anyways, Roman, congrats. Nick,
Thanks so
congrats.
much.
As a Penn
Congrats,
State
boys.
fan, thank you guys for completing the 10 for 10 weights. Now, not only did you guys go 4 for 4, technically you did 10 for 10 because now it completes the Penn State dynasty.
So
whatever you wanna call
Penn
it.
State's now every weight you.
Every
That's
weight
awesome.
you.
We're
Let's keep it going though.
We're every weight you. Yeah.
We need to put that on a T-shirt really
Every-
quick.
Every weight you. I like
Has
it.
any other school done that before?
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure Iowa.
I'm sure Iowa and
Oklahoma
Oklahoma State have.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds so cool.
I'm sure
Hey,
if
whatever.
not, the Penn State fans would have tweeted that out last night. Somebody would have. But all right, guys, Nick, congrats. See you in Texas. Roman, congrats. See you soon. Cenzo, Texas.
I'll see you in Texas. You're going, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
I'll
And
be out there,
everybody,
yep.
everybody go to manscaped.com. Use promo code Cenzo. Get a lawnmower 3.0, 20% off, free shipping. That's it. That's Baschamania
gonna be-
108.
Gonna be sick. See you guys.
Let's go.
See ya.
And the beat goes on.